help my heart rate. That's wonderful. I was over there. I was just collecting money as people were coming in. I'm doing the good duty, being a good Samaritan, help out the team for the Berlin Mox Comedy Night. And John gives me that credit. It's true. I mean, but we don't need to talk about it out loud unless we're talking about it out loud, and we already are. But we're moving on. It's been a very rare week for me where I had a panic attack on Wednesday to start off my middle of the week there. And I find out, actually, you know, if you go to the hospital for that, they don't actually do anything for you because they just think you're there for drugs, which I was there for drugs because I was having a panic attack, which should be allowed. You know, you should be in this country, you know, just taken care of to the point where they're not going to adopt you and disrespect every one of your feelings while you're sitting there for 4.5, 5 hours when they're like, oh, what's he in there for? Oh, it's a code, needs a PCP. So, but they give me Ativan for the panic attacks, which are, I've always had a love-hate relationship with the benzos or downers families. Because when I was 18, I didn't know that 2 bars of Xanax was like really strong. I didn't know that. I thought it was just like, oh, it's just like 2 pills. And everyone's like, yeah, that's cool, Phil. And it's like, yeah, okay, I can take them now while I'm working. You can take them whenever you want. It'll make you feel great. So I took them on Christmas Eve while I was working at a restaurant. By the time I got home, I was totally ready for Christmas already. And I was just talking, it was to my friend Trish over AIM. You remember that? Instant Messenger? The way it would just, you could have a conversation and keep the whole thing up and a record of it for hours later. Well, it was good that I had kept that record up on the family computer of my ideas of like, I'm going to open all the Christmas presents. Just peaks, just corners. And she was like, no, don't do that. Don't do it. And the next morning, they all looked like they had like rats that chewed on the side of them. And I was like laying in the middle of the floor with grape Kool-Aid spilled on myself. And I was like, what? It's cool. It's Christmas time. We can open our present. And they're like, you're in trouble. So I just have to watch out for that because it's a damn shame the thing that works best for the panic attacks is also the thing that brings you dangerously close to ruining Christmas every year. But hopefully I have a better week coming up because I'm joining here at the Berlin Mox on Tuesday. This is a much more moderate crowd than last time I was here, which was amazing for the Lenny Bruce is Still Dead show. I never guessed all that, but there was 150 people here, and I was like worried about fire capacity, and I'm used to it. 12 people here, and 4 of them I know brought with me, and 3 of them I paid for. You know, I got money. I work in nonprofit politics. I can afford to pay for you guys. It's cool. I work as a team leader. I canvass for a living, so I'm one of those people that can ask you for like get your name and email address and whatever other shit we're looking for on there too. Names, email address, numbers, so we can put you in our bank and then we can ask you to come down for protests and rallies and whatever political rhetoric we're doing at the time. And I'm good now at training people to do that, but this week over in Homewood, we had a shooting on turf, because that's how Pittsburgh works in some of its areas, where you can come up here and you can never see all that shit happening, or you can go down another neighborhood where they have 2 in a day, and that's just, it's a really amazing piece of work that I get to go on. We get to meet a lot of crazy people walking the streets doing this. Recently met a psychedelic witch that has been helping me get some of what John was talking about before. It's a lot of work to deal with the psychedelic witch that I've met while canvassing on turf with a crew. Because she's crazy and will try to keep you there as a hostage, like a Hansel and Gretel witches do. But you can't let it happen to you because she will eat you with all her little Fraggle holes, remember Fraggles? She designs parts of the room for nomadic, like wandering people, just like you are, just to be able to stay there and smoke DMT all the time. It's a wonderful place you never can leave. And so, like, I will stop in here, and I'll be like, well, I would like to smoke some blueberry kush. That could be pretty fun. It might be where you're going in to talk to a psychedelic witch. Whatever, you can clap for whatever the fuck you want. It's good. What you do, it's American, it's what we're all doing anyway. But the psychedelic witch, this problem of where the drugs come from. They come from the crazies and the dangerous people, and just the ones that are armed to the teeth sometimes, and like, you have to laugh at them no matter what. Those are wonderful people. But no, this Hansel and Gretel psychedelic witch, one time she had left her keys in her bag. She didn't tell me that, she just locked herself out of her giant loft with a crane and all this shit. And she was trying to tell me, like, I have to scale the side of the wall for her, shimmy up the side of the drain, and then go on the roof, and then come back down where the door's open for the crane. And then I can go in and open it up. And I was like, I'm not fucking Spider-Man. I know that you may think that I have like powers, but I don't have even upper body strength. I don't think to scale any fucking walls at this point anymore. But you know, it's just how your days go. You try to be a nice guy, but instead by the end of the evening, it's like you just push the drunk person out of your car because you're just glad to be out of there. You're like, you know what? They've probably slept in dumpsters before. They can do it. Why am I talking about my friends for? Yeah, I've had a ridiculously weird week over here, but you know, hopefully I'll be able to get a chance to go away and go to some camping in the August Festival when it comes up in a few weeks here, and just be able to relax. Because last time I went camping, I found out I'm a better homeless person than I am camper. Because I'm not like, you know, I could just go up for a couple of days and you can just not change your clothes and you can live from people's houses to houses that are already set up. You can do that camping too. It's actually much the same way if you just go to the right festival and you try to build experimental communities. Sometimes like I would leave my own campground because we'd all be fighting with each other and people would be yelling at me to clean up the beer that I spilled on the ground, because that's what I do is I spill things. And, I've been to your house before, you know what it's like. I spilled pretzels, I spilled a lot of stuff. My whole thing was like, it's fucking nature. You just let it be there, it's fine. It'll just get assimilated back into more dirt, as pretzel crumbs, or you know, the beer that's for the homies on the ground. Take care of that. But you know, I'd even go from my campground to like other communities that I would try to I was just trying to find young people that, you know, had never done any drugs and just like to walk around, and then I could play Pied Piper and do little tricks on them. You know, that'd be fun too. Or I could motivate entire communities of campers with like the right prescription Adderall. And just like, oh, let's just make sure, see if they'll organize their tents like this, do that, everybody. They're like this, Phil? Yeah, push all your things here. It's like, well, who wants another Adderall? So, I'll do that. You have to sweep all of this ground here and put the file word over there. And I'm like, yes. Which makes me officially a sociopath that I've said that in public. I'm glad you're all here. Welcome to the first meeting of the Sociopaths Club, Brillo Box. You're all here for a reason too. But yeah. I want to ask real quick here, because I've been thinking about this since there is the NFL lockout. We could see James Harrison here at a lot of different places in this city. And is James Harrison here right now? No, James Harrison doesn't go to the Brillo Box. Good. Because I've been thinking about how this man is one of the scariest human beings I've ever sat near in my entire life. We all talk about Ben, you know, there's a horrible thing and a great, wonderful set of, you know, ideas about him, that he's a dickhead. But James Harrison being a monster, and the fact that we can just let him, we let him whip his woman around because she wouldn't baptize the baby, and he was like, baptize the baby, bitch. Take me back. You know, Dan Rooney decided he was going to back him on this because, of course, the baby needs baptized. You dumb bitch. You know you have to. You can't let your heathen woman try to not baptize the baby. So, I mean, I love the Rooneys and all, but James Harrison scares the shit out of me. I was at the draft one time. I got tickets through a friend of a friend, and we were sitting in the locker room for it, watching Larry Foote, who's just a normal kind of, looks like he could be a football player. And then there's James Harrison, who looks like one of those monsters that you see now. They make a Sega Genesis that has the muscles just are out to here. And he just kill you at any time in your body, just by thinking about it. That's why I had to ask if he was here, because he'd just fucking kill me for where he's at. But, you know, that's just my opinion on it. But I want to go with my last part right here is mention that I had a problem a few months ago with, now that I'm 30, and I think it's probably because, you know, sometimes I get the best drugs in the city. But I've made some choices I made now that I had a sharding incident. And if you don't know, sharding is a combination of a shit and a fart. Like if you try and think it's going to be a fart, you're just letting out, but instead it's not, and it's just, fuck, I'm supposed to hold that in there, but you can't because you made these choices and you're 30 and you're feeling okay. Alright? So I was over in West Carson. I was right next to where the Duquesne Incline is. There's any idea if any of you from Pittsburgh or Cross Rivers? That's where it was at, Duquesne Incline. And I was waiting for a friend to be able to pick me up. But I had to piss, so I tried the only thing that is not normal, and I would just try to rush and piss as fast as I could in between the cars coming so no one would see me. So just forcing it out there as hard as I fucking could with the piss. And then I kind of had a cough. Which I didn't know opens that. I guess that's why it's turn your head and cough. know what the fuck they were trying to do. But turned around and coughed, and a little, now he's out, and I'm like, oh, and I'm still pissing, and by that point I know I'm gonna have to do something about this. It's just fucking gross, and you don't want to have it happen. You know, anyway, so I ran into where the Duquesne incline has the part where you ran into, more like, but I ran into the part where the Duquesne incline goes across the West Carson Street as you're coming out, and in there I decided, I mean, okay, I'll just change my shorts real fast, and just use that to wipe up and throw it over the side. But I didn't remember that I had on my American flag boxer shorts until that time, and then I'm like, oh shit, I have to wipe my ass with everything that people care about. And I was doing it real quick because I didn't want to have anybody coming around. And, you know, it's not like you can be confident with it if you're caught wiping your ass with the American flag boxer shorts, because people are going to still like, is it made in China or not? Does it matter or not? I'm like, hey, it's just mountain money to me right now, buddy. I'm just throwing it over. It's not a large round neck thing for America, but or maybe it is. So I got to him, right before some guy was going to come out, he just saw me like pulling out my pants like I'm just jerking off like normal people do over in the UK when they pull their pants down. But so I have my pants pulled up by that time, and I have to throw them, you know, whatever that mysterious litter is, down, and then there's the American flag thing with the sitting there. There's other briefs that are there too when I look down the bottom. You might expect when you're a kid, when you're like, why would there be underpants in the middle of the forest? You never know. You're like, why would people change their underpants? And then, you know, you're 30 years old because of the choices that you make, and you're trying to rush the fucking flush as you're on the incline, and you're about to take the incline, and you know, that's how it happens. So, just want to let you guys in on that secret. All right, thank you very much. Phil McCahill. Have a good day.